Tonight I'm riding a black unicorn down the side of an erupting volcano. Welcome to the February 2020 Voltaire Video Newsletter. I haven't had to say 2020 yet. There wasn't one in January. We were on hiatus for the entire month of January. I was in Indonesia for 4 weeks, in Bali, doing all sorts of weird stuff, which of course you're going to see on A Light in the Shadows. And I was in Japan for a week, and there's some interesting stuff I want to tell you about Tokyo. But first, I want to let you know that I'm back in New York City. Here I am in New York. You can see the Chrysler Building there. You can see the Empire State Building there. I'm kidding. I'm in Las Vegas. Did a show here last night at Scarlet. Let me tell you very briefly before we get to the upcoming shows what that was like. I've always wanted to go to Scarlet, okay? I kind of went briefly last time I was in Vegas. But I've always wanted to go to this party. I've been hearing about it for years and years and years. And I was just trying to figure out, like, how do I get booked at this party? You know, they really typically don't have live bands. And I worked out a deal with them like I do with the church in Dallas, like I do with in Knoxville, Tennessee at the Concourse with Temple, where I do a concert before the goth night. A whole bunch of people come out for the concert, and like 50% of them stick around for the goth night, drinking and dancing all night long, and we all have a really good time. It's a scenario that works out really great for everybody, including myself, because then I get to hear music I like for the whole rest of the night. So it was the first time doing it in Las Vegas, and it was absolutely fantastic. It was a huge success. Tons of people came out, and we all had a really, really great time at Scarlet afterwards. So thank you, DJ Morpheus, for taking a chance on me and allowing that to happen. It was so much fun. Let's do it every year. And now we finally get to upcoming shows. Where am I playing? Near you. Is the sun directly behind me? What is that? Oh, it's a reflection off a building. Okay, it is not the sun. It's a fake sun. It's a black hole sun. Don't you come. We're going to get to upcoming shows. We are. Hold on one second. I've got the list right here. The channel guide from my hotel, which I apparently stole. Sorry, guys. I'm sure you have another one somewhere. All right, so last night was show in Las Vegas at Scarlet. Let's do that again. Next week, February 8th, I am in Seattle at El Corazon. February 9th, I'm in Portland at the Star Theater for Hive. That's another scenario where I perform at the Star Theater, and then directly after me is the local goth night, Hive, and that's always a good time. Come check that out. February 15th, I'm in St. Louis at the Crack Fox. February 22nd, Los Angeles, California at Bar Sinister. That's a Mardi Gras theme. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be a lot of beads, I'm guessing, so try to come out for that. February 28th, I am in Phoenix, Arizona. It's been a little while, and I'll be playing there at Club Red. This just in, February 29th, Albuquerque, New Mexico at the Hispanic Cultural Center. That's not on the website yet. I literally booked it last night, so see you guys in Albuquerque. And then March 3rd, Mexico City at Comedy Club. That show's also not on my website because I've been just trying to figure out the details. So it'll probably be up on the website in the next day or so. And the show's going to be a little different. You know, I think I'm going to do all of the songs that I've written for Black Labyrinth and whatever Spanish songs I've got. So it's basically going to be a show of mostly new songs. And then, of course, there'll be some classics in there as well. And it's going to be an intimate setting. It's a smaller venue than I have played before in Mexico. So get your tickets in advance, and I'll see you there at Comedy Club. I think that's in Roma. You know what? It's like right across the street from Bizarro Cafe. So if you know where Bizarro Cafe is, it's basically across the street. All right, and then March 13th, I'm in Orlando, Florida at the Abbey. March 14th, Tampa, Florida at Crowbar. And then March 21st, I return to Burlingame, California for Clockwork Alchemy. That's going to be a lot of fun. March 26th, that's a Thursday night, I perform in Providence, Rhode Island at Nocturnal. That's a local goth night there. And that takes place at a place called Dusk. And then the next night, March 27th, I'm in Boston. I return to Boston to the Hardrock Cafe. We had a really good time last time. I hope you will return. And then brings us into April 4th. Waiting to finalize a booking April 4th. I've been waiting for a while now, so I hope it works out. But I'm just going to say it's in Salt Lake City. That's all I'm going to say. So hopefully I'll see you guys then. And then April 14th, another show that I'm waiting to finalize the details for. I'm just going to tell you it's in Texas, and it's a city that I do not normally play. It's a city I almost never play, so hopefully that show will work out. And then April 18th, I'm in Knoxville, Tennessee at Concourse, and of course immediately after the show is Temple, so stick around for some drinking and dancing to all of your favorite spooky disco tunes. That's just what I'm going to call goth now, spooky disco. And then June 20th, I am in Sacramento, California at Sinister Creature Con. Happy to return to that show. And that's all of the shows that I have planned. Give me a second while I put this away. And was speaking with a friend of mine a couple nights ago about possibly joining his company at San Diego Comic-Con. I haven't been to that show in a really, really long time, and if that works out, that means there's going to be a concert in San Diego the weekend of San Diego Comic-Con. So look for news about that on my website, www.voltaire.net. Those of you who have seen the site may have seen some changes. HostBaby, the company that used to host Voltaire.net, they folded. Well, they didn't fold. They folded their website division, and now subsequently it's hosted by someone else. And it's a lot easier to navigate, especially in the concert section. You can buy tickets. There's links to buy tickets right there. Speaking of which, it's a ghetto bird. Ghetto bird. It's just a helicopter. We don't have a lot of those in New York City. We're not usually interrupted by helicopters in New York City because the buildings are so high, you can't really fly any. It's just sirens that interrupt my video newsletters, just sirens. In any case, what the hell was I talking about? Oh yeah, speaking of buying tickets, you can now buy tickets for my concerts right here. Look down, see? Right under the video. There should be a bar where any of the promoters who book me, who actually sign up for advanced ticketing through Eventbrite or Ticketmaster or things like that, your shows will now show up below the video. So you can come to any of the shows that I mentioned that have advanced tickets available right down there. So please, press the button. Stop watching me on the screen. Come see me live. Come say hello. And that is it for upcoming shows. Let's talk briefly about Gothic Homemaking. In the last video back in December, I talked about maybe canceling the show, maybe renaming the show, maybe rebranding the show. I've gotten no closer to an answer on any of that. All I do know is that I just spent a bunch of time in Tokyo where there's some really great monster-themed restaurants. So coming next on Gothic Homemaking is going to be a guide of something like 10 monster-themed restaurants to die for. And it's going to be restaurants in New York, in Portland, Oregon, in Tokyo, Japan, in Bali, Indonesia. And what they all have in common? Monsters. A vampire-themed one, a Frankenstein-themed one, a Jekyll and Hyde one, a Godzilla one. I mean, honestly, it is going to be such a great video. It's going to have to be 2 videos because there's so many places. So look for that coming up right here on this channel. And then I'm just going to keep on making Gothic Homemaking videos until I figure something else out. And then, of course, at some point in the middle of this year, A Light in the Shadows will begin, and that's my spooky travel show. That's all right here on The Lair of Voltaire. Music-wise, I continue working on my next album, Black Labyrinth, an unofficial, very dark sequel to Labyrinth, David Bowie's Labyrinth. And it is, of course, also an homage to David Bowie and to the amazing work of Jim Henson. I am now up to something like 6 songs from that album, and I'm going to play as many of them as I have all the lyrics to in my Mexico City show, so I hope you come to that. And then also musically, I'm still working on the Spanish album. I have some friends helping me translate a bunch of my songs, and hopefully that's something that'll be out this year as well. In movie news, Velocipaster is doing really well. You know, it's a surprise hit. The director tells me that it's doing amazing on Amazon Prime. You can see it there. It's a B movie. It's like a grindhouse movie. It's supposed to be super bad. Strangely enough, it isn't. It's super self-aware. It's really funny. Despite being really campy and really low budget, it's actually really, really funny. Check it out if you can. So that's happening, and I'm meeting with Jeff Farrell, who was the director of a film I was in called Dead West, where I played Suge White, crazy pimp, and we are going to be getting together next week in Seattle to talk about our upcoming feature film, Incubus. It's a demonic possession film. So hopefully that's something that'll start getting made this year as well. You know, there's a lot going on. There's a lot of merchandise stuff going on right now because I got a bunch of really cool ideas. While I was in Indonesia, I drew a bat on the back of a shopping bag, and I brought it to a wood carver, and he carved these beautiful bats for me. I brought as many of them as I could to the States, and I've been selling them at my merch table, only at the merch table because there's so few of them. And just to cover my bases, I went to a different carver and I had him do one as well. And his was, it was so ridiculous. It was carved out of solid mahogany and the detailing is really intricate. So they were too heavy and too intricate to bring to the show. So I will be selling those at some point in the near future. Those will be a bit more expensive. Those might be $300 each, yeah. But they're gonna be very rare, and when you see them, you will completely understand. You'll be like, oh yeah, okay, I totally get it. Only $300? The other ones are smaller, they're made out of soft wood. They're really, really beautiful, and those are $100 each. And I have a small handful of those left. And then also, I am having some incredible bat jewelry that's being made right now in Russia. And that's gonna be on the website at some point in the next couple of months. And I've been working on a fragrance line. So I told you, well, you may have heard in my waft review video that I signed a deal to manufacture and sell my own fragrance, Lair, and that is presently happening. And the company that I'm doing that with, we are also going to be doing some scented candles with some beautifully sculpted skeletal bases. So that's something that I'm working on as well. And there's just so much more going on. But right now, I need to go film some things for a Gothic homemaking episode. So thank you so much for watching. Thank you for subscribing to my channel. Thank you for staying tuned to all of my weird little antics. And come visit me in New York. Kidding, it's Vegas. Come visit me at one of my shows. And thank you for your support. I really appreciate it. I'll see you guys next time.